Hello, this is Elman Dean, and with me today is Jennifer Stigile, the singer for the Lunar series, and she's done quite a few of the Working Designs games, both voice acting and singing. Welcome aboard, Jennifer, or as sometimes you're called, Jenny, right?
Yes, Jennifer, Jenny. Most people call me Jenny.
And I have a habit of calling you Jennifer anyway. So you've been singing for a while. Tell us how you got started in singing.
Oh gosh. Okay. I was a really shy child, and well, I was either out roller skating or kind of in my room listening to music. I at a young age had an appreciation for music. Who like the very early Whitney Houston, the very beginning, early Mariah Carey. But I listened to a lot of music, but those were basically my two influences. And I would just sit there in my room and quietly sing to them, or with them, I guess. And that's how I learned my style, my current day style, which is very soulful. You don't hear that actually in a lot of the games that I've done. You don't hear a lot of that soul, but my normal voice is quite soulful, and it's because of that. Um, anyway, I guess fast forwarding a little bit, I started to come out of my shell a little bit. I auditioned for choir in high school or in junior high, and I didn't make the cut. I remember auditioning, and I just kind of, like, I was just so shy and nervous. It wasn't until I got into high school, that I auditioned for choir. This was ninth grade. You may know Kathy Emma from some of the games as well. She was my best friend in high school. She and I sang in choir together, sang all over the place. And I think between the two of us, just kind of singing together, having the same style, and maybe that was kind of the style.
Who else besides Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey were your influences? Or
Um,
maybe not influences, but people you listen to, artists you listen to.
it really depended on where I was at the time in life, who I was with. So my parents were divorced, and when my sisters and I would be visiting my father and stepmother, they listened to the Judds, which is country, and Reba McEntire. He listened to a lot of Elvis Presley, and then a lot of musical music. My stepmother was a fan of Cats and all sorts of different, and Les Mis, all kinds of musicals, Phantom. So I was kind of exposed to all sorts of music, and I think I was a very emotional child. I didn't realize it at the time. I'm actually kind of discovering that now in my mid late 40s, all the different emotions that I was experiencing back then. But I would listen to what touched me and moved me back then, country, a little bit of country, a lot of R&B kind of music, soulful music, a lot of musical theater, which I adore to this day. Who was it? Casey Kasem? Did you
Yeah,
guys hear Casey Kasem?
yeah.
Like the
He came on the radio, right?
Yeah, I think it was like the top 100 or something. He
Yeah,
would
or
play.
top 40. Was it top 40? Yeah. No, I remember that. That was I was around then, so
Yes. And those were back in the days where you would listen for a song that you liked, and then you would press record, play record on
yeah.
a little cassette tape thing. Um, so I would just have all these different mixtapes of just all kinds of different music, just depending on the mood. As I got into high school, a lot of Boys to Men. Oh, Shy, which was another older boy band. All kinds of things that just spoke to the heart from my teenage love years.
Yeah,
Oh,
those are the days. Although I think you probably had a more interesting time than I did. So we won't go there. This is about you. So
Um,
anyway, you did choir throughout high school, correct? How did that go out till you auditioning for working designs or any in between period?
so I had a girlfriend at that time. Her name was Darcy. And she told me she knew somebody who I think knew someone who was auditioning for something that had to do with singing and music. Didn't know what it was at the time, but I went and auditioned. It ended up being this video game. I think it was Sega CD video game, Popful Mail, and I got the role or the singing gig. Um, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be a superstar. This is, big time. I'm gonna be in a video game. And that was my introduction to working designs, to the video game and voice acting and the singing and video game community, I guess.
So Darcy, your friend Darcy, actually, she was already part of working designs, or she was already in. Like, how did that go? Like, or she just introduced you to.
I think we were in yearbook together. We were in English or yearbook, something like that. Darcy probably will never know unless she maybe sees this. We don't know each other now. She was the one kind of that started this entire thing. So Darcy Pryor from Redding, California, thank you very much. This is all because of you.
I'm sure the rest of the Lunar fans will be thankful for it too. So, okay, so it was Popful Mail that you started with, and was it a song and a voice roll together? How did that go about?
It was just a song, and I'm trying like heck to even remember how it went. It was a very pretty song, though. Very pretty song. Can't
Yeah.
think of it.
So, what was the direction you were given for that?
Well, so that's where actually Victor Ireland from Working Designs really comes into play. He really wanted to stick as closely as possible to the Japanese sound, which is why everything that I have sung with Working Designs has been it's a way of singing that I typically like in my everyday life. I don't necessarily sing that way. It's very I don't know, it's very innocent and kind of girly, little girly, just very innocent, I guess. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah.
Um
Well, one I saw one comment on YouTube said she looks and sounds like an angel.
well, that's if it's because of those video games, that's thanks to Victor actually. Yeah, like I said, he wanted to stick very closely to the way or the Japanese singers sounded. I listened a lot to the Japanese singer, and this goes for all of the games. For the most part, Victor wrote the lyrics to, well, he wrote the lyrics to that song, I believe, as well as most all the others. Um, and was really able to like capture the feel. It may not necessarily be like the original intent of the song when you take the literal Japanese translation, but in all of Working Designs games, I mean, he was able to really capture feelings. The fact that he wanted to keep it really just sweet and angelic, like you said,
Yeah, and I think the working designs, a lot of the games had a kind of a charm to them. When you got a game from Working Designs, it was going to be a type of charming type of game. I mean, whether it's the localization, of course, some people now try to criticize it, whereas back in the 90s, I think there might have been one or two magazines that would say that, but everybody else was like, all my circle of friends that played it was like, this is really cool. No one's done that. Like the localization, the pop culture references, no one's done that at the time. There were some liberties taken, but it was a good translation.
Yeah.
I thought everyone did a great job.
There's a land beyond, the floating clouds are very calm. If you wish upon the far